What does the first day of padded practice tell you about where the team is at?
It's tough because I think, first day of padded practice is like first day of school, so it's like everybody excited. We're still trying to learn the tempo, trying to figure out the physicality as far as what the coaches allow and what they don't want us to do because we still got to be able to protect one another. But I think the defense did a great job today. Obviously, we were able to kind of include all of our installs up to this point today, and I think that the defense showed a lot of variety in their coverages and the blitzes. And I think for us, we got to just continue to learn how to be able to communicate, to pick those things up. But, I think that the defense got after us a little bit today.
Tyler, you saw that defense a year ago in Baltimore. You've seen it a little bit out here in practice for the last couple months now. What about it is going to make it difficult for offenses to play against?
Well, I think after watching Baltimore and playing against them and just kind of being able to understand their scheme, they were really great, not just talent-wise, but just also in the communication. And I think that we have the same amount of players here that are just as talented, that could be able to play at a high level, that could be able to blitz, that could be able to play a numerous amount of positions. As you know, I've heard kind of like we got people that'll play DNs, people that'll go to linebackers. So a lot of people can get moved around to a lot of different places. Looking at the secondary, I mean, you can move Spoon around to play nickel. He can play corner. He can kind of do it all. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of like how the defense, how Mike wants to be able to attack all these other types of offenses. But I think, just when it comes to our defense, it's just going to be communication and just being able to understand the game. When you can understand the game, it doesn't matter what the offense does because you understand their scheme and you understand what it is that they're trying to do to be able to attack them.
Tyler, how much better can this defense be this year than it was last year?
I think it could be a lot better, but at the same time, I think it's all just going to depend on us. Can't always depend on the coaches to be able to get us right, to be able to take us to a place that we want to be able to go. It's just going to be us, and it's going to have to be that accountability. And I think my biggest thing is at the beginning of camp, everybody wants to play, right? Everybody wants to make the team, but what are we going to look like towards the end of the season? What are we going to look like towards the middle of the season? Because that's what's going to dictate how far this team's going to be able to go. It's not going to be the beginning of the season. It's going to show you who we are in the middle of the season, but at the end of the season, that's where we got to be, where we already wanted to be.
Tyler, we talked a lot about the defense, but the offense obviously went through some changes. New O-line coach, and then obviously the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
What's your take on it right now?
Obviously there was a lot of changes when you compare last year and you look at this year. And I think this year, as we kind of learn the offense, it's a lot different than the offenses that I've been a part of in, the 9 years that I've played. I think that Grubb has a lot of flexibility when it comes to the usage of the players that he wants to be able to utilize, how he wants guys to be able to get open. I think there's some cool schemes in there that sometimes you don't see unless you kind of do your alternate stuff in Madden, when you got to alternate routes. So it's kind of cool to be able to see a little bit of the way that they think, and it makes sense why they went to the championship, if you ask me, because it's so difficult to be able to guard the way that they pass the ball in their schemes. But then when teams think they figured it out, you got a running back that could be able to rush for 1,000 yards and still be able to take the pressure off the passing game. So I think for us, it's just first down. If we can be able to get first downs, I think the offense can be able to show a lot of things that haven't been seen before, but we got to be able to move the sticks.
Is practice, just the way practice is run, seem real different at all with Mike now as compared to all those years with Pete?
Yeah, it's a little different. Still kind of trying to get into what it's going to be like. But, for the most part, it's different. It feels different. And we just got to continue to adapt and continue to learn each other. But I think so far practices have been great.
The first padded practice is always a good litmus test to see where things are, especially when you have a new offense, as you've been talking about. But how do you feel about the progress for the offense as a whole to this point with roughly a little over a month until week one?
Looking back at our first four practices, I loved where we were at. I think we attacked the defense. We exploited a lot of things that we saw. We took what the defense gave us. We weren't really forcing a lot of things. And I think for us, it's just being able to do that every single day. Not trying to go for the big thing right then and there. We just got to take what they give us and be able to just make plays and allow our guys to be able to make plays, because we got guys that are talented that can make a person miss an open field, or even whenever everything seems like there's no way out, you got somebody like Ken that can make a way out of no way, in a sense. And so for us, I think we just got to continue to do what we're doing, continue to build. Today, we could have did a lot better. And I think for us, we just got to continue to grow. It's not about being perfect, but it's just about being able to work to able to get better each and every day.
Where does Jake Bobo's touchdown today stack up with the catches that you've seen in training camp in your career?
Oh, I mean, I think that was at least top 5. I thought it was a great catch. You're talking about the fade route that he had?
The touchdown at the end.
Yeah, the touchdown at the end. Yeah, I mean, that was a tremendous catch. And, I mean, like you see it, I mean, you got somebody like Bobo going into a second year that can make big-time plays whenever you call his name. And so I think that alone just makes it tough for defenses to figure out what it is that you want to do. Like, we bring our game to the table, and the coaches figure out how to utilize everybody.
Speaking of a player going into his second year, how much more confident and ready for a sophomore season does Jackson look for you guys right now?
Well, I think Jack's had an amazing offseason when you look at the OTAs and stuff like that. Even when you're looking at him at practice, he's making explosive plays each and every day, being able to win his matchups, and those are the things that we're going to be able to need. And I think that he's taking advantage of his opportunities. Like I said, he's making plays, and he's really starting to make a name for himself.
What does year 10 in the NFL mean to you? That's not a benchmark for very many guys to get to in this league.
I mean, for me, I still got time to get better, still got time to work on my game. Obviously, a lot of times when you get to year 10, people say, you're on a decline, but that gives me just enough more energy, if not motivation, just to be able to keep going and take my game to another level. A lot of guys don't even make it to 10 years, or some guys don't even make it past 3.5. I think that's the average. And so for me, just to be able to be at year 10, I mean, that's different stuff that you could be grateful for. That's stuff that I could be able to allow to kind of fit into the confidence of my game and say, hey, man, you're in year 10. Think about how many receivers are out here in year 10 still being able to be a part of the offense in an effective way, still being able to make these plays and be able to get open. So for me, I'm truly thankful for that and grateful for that, and just want to continue to give God the glory every opportunity that I get to play this game.
You mentioned that, some people have said that you might be on the decline. Do you feel any changes in your body? You're going to be 32 in September,
I mean, really the only changes I feel is just more maintenance, more taking care of the body. It's not like I could just put my stuff on and go out there and just practice. Like I used to go out there and not even stretch, but I think that's the young version of us now. It's like, all right, let's go do the massages. Let's go do some of the chiropractic work, the dry needling, the suction cups, like all those different types of things to be able to get yourself right. It's just being able to make sure that you stay on top of things and not start when something, is starting to happen. The biggest part about this game, as we all know, is availability and it's durability. And if you're not available, then that's when people say, oh, he's getting older. But the more and more you make yourself available to practice, you make yourself available to play in the games, you give yourself a chance to be able to continue to play as long as you want to play.
Tyler, how long did you expect to play?
You said when they drafted me? I mean, I never really had a set number. When people ask me how long I wanted to play, I just say 8 years. I'd be like 8. That sounds like a good number. Obviously, when you're in it, things go a lot faster. And before you know it, I'm looking at year 10, and I still feel like I'm 22, or 23. But I got to remind myself you're not, and you got to take care of your body, and you got to do these little things that you may not have had to do in the past to be able to get yourself right. So I still find ways to be effective, still find ways to be able to grind, to take my game to another level, but you got to be able to be just a little bit more smart and not allow yourself to have that early wear and tear on your body.
Is there a newcomer either on offense or defense that's caught your eye?
I mean, it's hard to just kind of like point out one person. I think Cody White's been having a really, really great camp. I think he's another person that had a spectacular OTAs, and we got to see him make a couple of plays out there today. Obviously, it's hard to make plays because you only have one ball, but he's taking advantage of his opportunities. He's winning his one-on-one matchups, and I think that, slowly but surely, he's giving himself a chance to be able to continue to play at this game like he knows he can.
You played when it was a 16-game regular season. Now it's obviously 17, and it seems like the league eventually wants to get to 18. From a player perspective, what would have to happen to make 18 games realistic, and does it feel like an inevitability that that's going to happen?
I mean, I feel like we really ain't got no choice, to be honest. I think if you add another weekend, it should just be another bye week. So it's still the same amount of games. It's just 2 bye weeks. I think that's more so fair, but we know that it's probably not going to end up like that. So, I mean, you just kind of got to rock with the punches and just be able to go play. It's not like people's going to get paid any different. They're just going to divide it by 18, or divide it by 19 now. So, yeah, if they give us another game, we just got to go out there and take care of our bodies that much more. But I don't really think we as players have a say.
If you put on your player rep hat, would you want that collectively bargained, or would you ask for something back from the owners, like no off-season or shorter training camp?
Well, I mean, even now, I think off-season is voluntary, so you really don't have to show up if you don't want to. It's tough if I was to put on my PA hat because you can't really make everybody happy. If you try to do some stuff to fight for the young guys, us vets are going to be upset. If you do stuff to fight for the vets, the young guys are going to be upset because you got to think about the guys who aren't going to be able to play past 3 years. So they want to be able to make their money early, or they want some of those benefits early. But then the thing that sucks sometimes is those young guys get older. And now they're like, oh, man, I wish we would have had this, this, and this. And then the older guys or the ones who retired said that's what we were trying to fight for. And so it's kind of like a give and take, and there has to be a level of sacrifice. And I think that, for us, or when you look at the PA, you just got to try to find a middle ground and find something that works. I can't really speak about a lot of stuff, but I don't know if I would do a 10-year thing. I'd probably do like a 5-year thing to make, so as things start to evolve and change, it's easy to go back to another deal. Like for me as a receiver, I would rather sign a 2-year deal or a 3-year deal to go back to the table rather than a 10-year deal, to where it's like, all right, now I got to sit here and wait, and things can't really change as other things are changing. Like when you look into the gambling stuff and how everybody's making money but us as players. When you look at like a lot of that different type of stuff, of course it's tricky, but it's hard because now you got to wait almost 8 more years now before you can go back to the table. And a lot of stuff changes in 8 years when we might have been able to benefit from 4 or 5 years from now. But again, I'm not the one that makes those decisions. I think that they're doing the best that they can. Obviously, everybody wants to be a head coach until you're the head coach, and then you see all the things that comes with that. So again, shout out to them. I think we're putting the best people in the positions to do their part, and I think that they're doing the best that they can to try to take care of everybody.
Tyler, what are you seeing from Reb's offense that makes you optimistic you guys will be better on 3rd down and in the red zone this year?
I think what I'm seeing is just more of the creativity. There's times where we might be going after the sticks, and there's other times where we're not even worried about the sticks. The sticks is just another yard line, and there's times where we might go for an explosive and it's 3rd and 3. Like, you just never know. And I think that's the cool part about the offense is that you have things where, okay, if this guy's open, take it, but if not, this guy behind him is probably going to have a great chance to be open to create an explosive. And so I think that sometimes if we focus more on just getting to the sticks, it's easy for teams to be able to pick up on 3rd down. They're more stick conscientious. But when you end up putting yourself in a position where you have somebody that's getting to the sticks, you don't know which player's getting to the sticks. But then you got other guys that's playing off of that route to be able to create an explosive. So if teams take away the sticks, the explosive opens himself up. And if they take away the explosive, the sticks open up.
What do you feel like? Go ahead. If you guys are better in those 2 areas, in the red zone and in 3rd down, how much better do you think the offense will just be in total this year?
Well, I think we've seen glimpses of how great that we could be, last year and even in the previous years of just being able to keep the ball moving and just be able to go from sticks to sticks. It's hard for teams to be able to stop us. I think that we had to do better more so in the second half. I think we kind of struggled a little bit in the second half. But, when we were able to move the ball, it was almost like very difficult to stop us. I think now we just got to be able to just play ahead of the sticks. And we just – yeah. No, you're good.
What do you feel like is going to be the bread and butter of your offense? Like the thing you guys really hang your hat on?
Yeah, honestly, when it comes to the bread and butter of the offense, I really don't know, because going into camp is one thing, and even if we go play Tennessee at camp, it's another thing, but you got to be able to see it in a game. Like, you still got to be able to see how we scout, how we choose to attack teams, and then how we play in the games, and that's when you start to get more of a feel and more of an understanding of, okay, this is how our offense is, this is how we go about it. But sometimes, I mean, it's hard because, every team has scripted plays out there. So you're picking an offense and you're picking a defense. So when we get to certain things out there, when it's team move the ball and there's no plays on the script, now you get a chance to really see the dynamic of the offense and the dynamic of the defense, because the defense doesn't have to pick a play that's already in there. It's like, okay, you go with your best play, we go with our best play. Now you get a chance to really see like the intricacies of the offense and defense.
Because of that, you think you're going to play more this preseason than you normally would?
I play every game if I could. So, I mean, at some point, I'm never gonna play again. So, I'd rather play as long as I possibly can.
Hey, Tyler, having done some kick returning in your past, obviously, what do you think of the new kick return rules and how that might change things?
I think it's different. It's unique. Obviously, it's tough because the game of football, you're so used to them starting on one side, kicking it, and you get to see a lot of super cool creative stuff. Now with everybody starting on a certain lineup or a line of scrimmage, it's just a lot different. But I think the cool part too is like you might see people back there that you may have never seen before back there. Like for me, it wouldn't surprise me if we put K9 back there and just allow K9 to create something out of nothing. Kind of like I was saying, you could put a lot of cool people back there to be able to do a lot of things that you may have not done because they were starting all the way back and being able to kick it. But I also understand you got to protect people. That's one of the most scariest plays, I guess, of football when it comes to a team full of people running full speed. You got other people standing there trying to block and then hitting somebody going full speed head on. They say every tackle is like a car wreck almost, so I get it, but we try to keep it as old school football as we can.
Good.
Appreciate it.